What's going on, everybody? Peyton here with another Valorant educational video. Hear me out. Have you ever played a round in Valorant where you planted a spike, your team falls back, and then boom, everyone dies one by one? Does that sound familiar to you? Has that happened before in one of your games, one of your comp matches? Well, let's try to fix that. Today's video, we're breaking down how to position yourself for post plant, specifically on Pearl, but you can use these tips really just any map in comp or even unrated, or if you're playing Swift players, doesn't matter. If you use these tips, it should help you win more attack rounds, and it should pitch you and your team in a better position to utilize your utility and really put yourself in a great position to ultimately win the game and win more attack rounds, and you're losing. First of all, let's talk about good plant positioning. Good plant positioning does four things for you. They give you vision or control of the spike, let you escape or reposition safely, play off sound cues, and ideally let you use utility without being exposed. Let's start with A site. The best plant spot is right in front of the pillar. It's safe, quick, and gives great visibility from A main and in link. A lot of people like to play in this corner here. A lot of people would like to plant in this corner or around this pillar. And the number one spot for you to play after you get the spike down safely is A main. Your number one go-to is A main. From here, you've got a clean line of sight of the spike, tons of cover, and you're far away enough to avoid fast trades. It's really good for Brimstone or Viper lineups or even Silver lineups. A lot of people like Viper or Silver, whoever it is that has lineups, can play from back here. Even Killjoy. Once you get the spike down, it's easy for you to set up your turret for flank. If you set up your turret back here, it will cover flank. That way you don't have to really worry about it. You can just play off sound cues. And also you can pitch your alarm bots right on the spike. And once you hear that sound cue of the spike going off, then you just play your molly and you're in a safe position. Only way you're going to die from this is if someone breaks your turret from flank and then kills you, or they're going to have to push out here on A main. And if you're tucking here, they're going to have to come out pretty far. So that's a really good spot to play. A main gives you a lot of cover, and also it's really good for jump peeks, like I mentioned in my last video. You hear the spike, you jump peek, and then normally what people do, especially in low elo, they like to try to tap the spike. So after they try to tap the spike to defuse, hardly anyone really holds the spike or holds the defuse after the first tap. They normally fake it. Now, this also changes some stuff. I hate that I have to do this every time, because I don't want to actually plant the spike right now. Post plant and how to really stop your opponents from having too much time to defuse a spike. It also comes to what they have in their lineups and their agents. If they have a get-go, I'd be careful. I'd play a little bit up to avoid wingman, because more than likely if they have wingman, they're gonna send the wingman to defuse a spike, and if they have a couple teammates, they're gonna try to push main, because that's what a lot of people like to play. They're gonna potentially try to push dugout, or if they're coming through spawn here, if they're coming through defender spawn, they're gonna come through art, they're gonna come through connector, and they're gonna try to flood out and really try to gather up space. That way the wingman can defuse the spike properly. So if that's the case, then I'd play a little bit up, make sure you utilize your jump peaks properly. Also, another thing is Sage Wall. I like this spike being planted in this corner, but if they have a Sage Wall, a lot of people like this. Cover going out. A lot of people like to wall off the spike, that way they can defuse it easier. So if you're playing against a Sage in post plant, I'd definitely be a little bit careful. Honestly, it would be somewhat worth to have somebody chilling in dugout, just in case. That way they can kind of sneak walk here and kill the planner. If the spike's smoked off, then I'd easily push and start spamming, because nobody's going to tap. If they block off the spike, then they're trying to defuse like right away, or at least get a half. So it's, say you're doing a little jump peek. Oh, it's smoked off. I'm swinging. and then I'm trying to kill the diffuser. So A main's really good to play. Obviously, it's really good for lineups here. You can play it deep as you want. If you're like Killjoy, you can play for your Molly. If you're Viper or Brim or Sova, if you have lineups back here, then it's really good. You're not really going to die too much. Another spot to play with this plant spot is A Link up here. It's a really good off angle. You can play right here. That's really good because a lot of people, like I said, will try to flood out to try to gather up space on site. That way, if you do have someone A main, which you should, at least have a couple people there, they're going to try to flood out like this and try to take these fights to try to kill you and really just stall time. That way, someone else can try to defuse a spike, whether it's wingman or it's an actual person. So if you're chilling right here, it's a really good off angle. They're not going to clear you. They'll walk right into your crosshair. You kill someone, and say if you're Omen like I am here, you kill someone, then do TP, and then you just play for sound cues. If you hear the spike tapped, do a little jump peek here just in case. And then you want to flood out as soon as you possibly can. If you have Paranoia, then do Paranoia, and then you kill the diffuser. So A-Link's really good to play. I don't know if anyone has any Viper lineups here, or anything like that. It's kind of hard to have any lineups from playing in Art, but Art's a really good spot. Art's really good for like early post plant. If you get the spike planted, you flood out, you try to take control here. Either you can go through connector and then go through, you can watch like right here. Some people will try to go through connector to go through link. So if you hold this crossfire here, you'll most likely kill them. Or you can flood out to Art here, and you hold this little off angle, like right here, play against this wall. Maybe a little bit higher so that way you're not visible to connector. Play this little off angle here. A lot of people try to flood out going through Art. That's an easy kill for you. You just want to stall as much time as you possibly can. Obviously, if you're a smokes player, utilize your smokes. You can utilize smokes like this. You can smoke out. Smoke like that if you have a couple. Obviously, Paranoia is really good. You just want to try to stall as much time as you possibly can. And that's really good for A side. Utilize your util. Pay attention to the opponent's util. If they have a Sage Wall, then you have to change your game plan up a little bit more, because they're going to try to wall themselves off, and it's going to really put you into a frenzy trying to stop the diffuser. And if they smoke it off right away, then that tells you that they're going to try to hold the spike. So, but if they don't have like any smokes, any like Sage mains, if they've already utilized their wall somewhere else for some reason, then you can be a little bit more patient and you can play time and you just try to stall as much as possible. A lot of people, and we'll just go ahead and go to B main here. Alright, now on to B site. The default plant spot is right in front of B hall. It's right over here by these boxes. You can plant it right in this corner. You can plant it a little bit out if you like want to, or you can plant it like in this corner. Just anywhere close to this box. The reason why I like this plant spot over this plant spot is if you plant the spike right here, that wall or that box isn't spammable. If you plant the spike right here, that box is spammable. So that's the reason why I think this plant spot is better than this plant spot. Another reason why this plant spot is better than that one, or just really any spot one here, because you plant right here, you can play through ramp, you can play through B main, you can play through this cubby here, and you have line of sight of the spike. And especially right here, you have line of sight if someone's dropping through, going through tunnel, if they're going through alley, if they're dropping from heaven. So that's a really good plant spot. That's the best plant spot in my opinion. Now let's talk about how to position yourself. What I like to do, and this is for me on Omen, and I'll talk about my role. If I already have my ult, I like planting the spike for normal rounds when I don't have my ult. That way it gives me ult points, and also if I'm in trouble, say if I plant the spike here, obviously this can get spammed. If I get the spike down and someone's already through link and they already got positioning, or if someone's already flooded through, say I smoked this off here and they were just waiting for the smoke to go down, plant the spike, I can easily just TP out here and save myself from putting myself in a bad position. But if I have ult, then I'll let someone else plant the spike, like a Killjoy or a Sage, or if we have a Viper. I'll let someone, obviously if we have a Gecko, let Wingman play the spike. But a lot of times what I like to do, playing with a controller or playing with Omen, especially Omen, is I like to either play through Hall, or if needed, if I know nobody's up on tower, get the spike planted, and then a lot of times I smoke off this. A lot of times I smoke off Link as well through alley, and then I'll just play up here. Sometimes if I feel if it's a 5v5 or I'm feeling really confident in my aim and I know it will catch them off guard, I'll play a little bit up here. Because I'll play this little off angle up here, because if a lot of the times they don't expect you, they expect you to peek from here, or they expect you to be somewhere back here playing a little more safe. A lot of times people don't expect you to play this high up, so they'll walk right into your crosshair. A lot of the times people will they'll peek like this, they'll shift walk, even if they're up here, and then they'll try to set their crosshair placement for someone right here. And that's when their crosshair placement's like this, they have no line of sight of me playing here. And that's an easy kill, then I can TP out. So playing up tower is really good because, like I mentioned, that box is spammable. If you want to play a little bit more risky here, to kind of switch it up and not play through tower, you can play next round going through tunnel here. If you have the timing correct, then you can catch someone off guard, and then you can like reposition yourself in hall. Hall is also really good to play. I like to have like I max 2 people here. You can have somebody right here, and you can have somebody right here. If you have a Sage wall, 2 good spots to do a Sage wall is right here in the alley, and right here towards the screen in this area, like right here. If you wall off alley, then I like to have 2 people. I like to have 2 people on hall, one kind of holding this angle right here. That way if someone tries to floods out towards main, towards screens area here, you're in a very safe position. You're not going to get this wall, excuse me, this is not spammable here, and a lot of times people are going to think you're going to hide right here, or you're going to play somewhere back here. But if you already have alley walled off, or you have a turret there or something, gotta hold this angle right here. A lot of times you get a kill. If you get a kill, you get a couple shots off. You're not really gonna die unless they have their crosshair like right on you. But a lot of the times when someone's peeking up through, trying to flank through ramp, going through B main, they're gonna see the spike here, and if it's a 1v1 situation, if it's a 1v2 or whatever the situation is, a lot of times they're not going to be looking right here. They're going to be looking somewhere right here. They're going to look through tower. They're going to look through opposite hall. They're going to look through tunnel. They're going to look in this corner here. And they're not going to be really holding this angle. So that's a really good spot to kind of chill if you have alley walled off. Also, another spot to chill is kind of right here. Hold this little off angle. You're going to either hold it here. If you have somebody, a really good setup is you have someone playing here, watching someone playing through tunnel, and also if you don't have a sage wall here, then you can kind of just peek off contacts. So right here is good to play if you have someone playing right here, kind of this entrance to exit to hall, kind of looking through tunnel. Gives you a good peek from hall, or excuse me, what's this? Street or alley, depends on how you want to call it. And also you can get this crossfire here, because a lot of the times if someone peeks through alley and you're holding this angle, They're not going to really see you. From their point of view, once they push, they're going to be looking here. Or they're going to look through here. They're not going to... And if they do clear someone over here, they're going to try to, like, wide swing. Because you might be front screens. You might be on top of this little box here. You might even be playing, like, a very close angle with, like, a Bucky or a Judge. You might be up on tower, like I mentioned. There's a lot of places that people can hide. But the number one place that people are going to check when they go through alley is they're going to check this front hall position. They slowly walk up. As soon as they slowly walk up, you have this off angle here. They're not expecting it. You get the kill. Even if you don't get the kill, say you whiff, you get a couple shots on them. Say if you whiff every bullet, you don't get the shots on them, they kill you. Well then, if you have someone playing through hall, they can time it right. They can kind of trade you here because they're holding this little angle here, playing through tunnel. Holding tunnel, maybe holding tower if you have no tower control. Say you peek, or they try to peek through hall, then you're not here. You miss every shot here, you don't get a bullet, you're at least drawing the attention away. As soon as you draw the attention away, then the person from hall swings out and gets that trade, and gets the free kill. So, playing an off angle, this is a really good off angle. Playing through tower, if you have tower control, is really good. You can have two people playing hall. And obviously, if you have lineups, excuse me, if you have lineups, you can play all the way back through ramp. You can peek. You don't have sight of control. From here, you don't really see the spike unless you play like right in that corner. But if you come out right here, you can see the spike. And there's a box in the way, so there's... The way they have to defuse it, if you play like right here, you're going to get free shots on them. Or you can play up here. A lot of the times, I think a really good setup is you have at the most, two people on ramp. After you plant the spike, you have two people hall. It's really good. You can have one person in either tower. You can have one person holding this angle right here. So you have two people hall, one person here, or one person up tower. And then you have the last two playing either B main, or you can have one person playing behind this pillar here, kind of peeking off contact and really keeping yourself in position, because this isn't spammable, I don't think. Yeah, it's not. And on top of that, you can have someone playing on this box. Because at this point, if you have someone right there on the right side of the pillar, and you have someone playing up on this box, even off the box, like right here, that's considered a high-low. So that's really good. So two people through ramp. At the most, two people. If you have three or more, then it becomes too crowded, and it's not good positioning. So I'd say two people hall, either someone tower, or someone kind of like right here. And if you want to, you can kind of play up on like on this box here. But either one person tower, one person here, or one person here, and then at the most two people ramps. If you have a killjoy turret, and then you have enough time, I'd set your turret for flank. Honestly, you can set your turret like right here, and then you can kind of play a little bit up here if you want to. Or you can kind of play like right here, maybe. It just all depends. There's a lot of room you can maneuver around B main. After you get a kill, the number one positioning for post plant that I have for you, the number one rule, the number one tip that I have, and this goes to all the maps. I just went through Pearl because Pearl is a very good post plant map. The number one tips that I have is put yourself in a position to where you're not going to get caught using your util. If you're out here in the opening and you're trying to use util, say you're trying to smoke off somewhere, you're trying to smoke off tower, you're trying to smoke off tunnel, smoke off alley, or trying to smoke off your flank, or whatever the case may be. If you're out here in the open and you have your util out, even if I have my blind out, that's not good. You're going to get yourself killed. Also, don't take one-on-one fights. Gotta stall. Don't peek only peek if you're trying to trade somebody, like I mentioned with this setup here, one playing the hall, one holding this angle here. The first contact would go to the person playing this off angle. If they kill them, awesome. If you kill them, then I kind of will reposition yourself somewhere else. That way you're not very visible. Keep yourself guessing and keep your opponents guessing where you're at. But say if they die, if they don't hit their shots, they die right away. Whatever the case may be, they at least broke this crossfire. You at least have this crossfire from alley. You have here, and then you have someone peeking from hall. Comms is very important too. Don't peek too early. A lot of the times people will hear like someone playing through hall. I've seen it multiple times where someone will play through hall here. They'll say, hey, we got someone flank, and then they'll try to fight it right away when we have like a 5v3 or a 4v2 advantage. A 4v2 advantage can easily turn into a 2-on-2. Holy shit, we had the advantage. Now it's a 2v2, and now it's anyone's ball game. So just stall as much time as you can. Use your util. Only use your util when you're in a safe position where you're not going to get killed. If you know someone's not flank here, then you can pay attention. Use your util. If you got blind, if you got paranoia, wait till the paranoia hits. Then play off tap. Swing when your teammates swing. If you have someone right next to you here, you can do a 3-2-1. Both of you swing, especially if it's like a 2v1 scenario. That's really my tips. The tips I have. The common mistakes that I see people make, or especially on Pearl, or really just any place on the map, is they peek before the tap. They have no flank control. Everyone's in the same area. Don't have all 5 of your people. If it's a 5v5 post plan, if it's a 5v4, 5v3, whatever the case may be, don't have all of your teammates playing on this or being on the site. Don't have everyone back hall. Don't have everyone in a place where they can flush out util, and it makes it easier for them to fill in the gaps, basically. Also, wasting util too early is another tip, or another mistake I see people make all the time in Valorant, especially in a competitive format and low elo. You should play for the tap. Wait for the tap. Also, utilize your peeking. Utilize my video on jump peeking. It's really good, because especially if you're playing back pillar here. Little jump peek. If you notice wingman's on, then obviously you want to try to use util. You want to try to double swing here to try to break wingman. If they try to wall off here, then you want to play a little bit more aggressive. Again, you use your util and really just calming. If you want to double swing, calm it together. 3, 2, 1, let's swing. But I'd only do that in certain scenarios. So that's really it. That's really all I got. That's how you lock down post plants on Pearl, and hopefully these tips help you in your next Pearl match. And if you want me to, I can do this for every comp map in the competitive pool. But if not, you can use these tips, and you can go to Icebox and use these tips. You can go to Lotus and use these tips. The tips that you can transfer from this map to every map is peek on tap. It takes 3.5 seconds for the spike to get half, and it takes 7 seconds to fully defuse the spike. So keep those timestamps in mind. Utilize jump peaks, utilize jiggle peaks, and utilize your util. And don't peek when you have a numbers advantage. Do not take 1v1s. Absolutely not. I don't care how confident you are in your aim. I don't care what rank you are at. I don't care if you're 30-0 and you're up 12-2. I don't care. Peek with your teammates. If you're going to swing, have your teammate near you, or have a crossfire to where they can easily trade you without getting rid of the numbers advantage, or without putting your team in a bad place to lose on attack after post plant. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. There will be more videos. I am posting again on my Twitter very, very soon on what the next line of videos will be. I'm thinking about doing a crosshair placement guide. I'm thinking about doing economy. Pay attention to your economy, especially in early rounds, how to play with that. There's a lot of videos that I want to do on this Valorant educational series. I am not a pro by any means. I am a low-ranked player. I peaked Bronze 3 multiple times, but I don't think I am a Bronze 3 player. I do think I have the talent and ability to be at least gold. And I don't know everything about Valorant, but over my long period of time of watching VCT and watching other Valorant pros, I pick up on a lot of things easier than other people would. And I just want to just kind of give back and kind of help when I can, because the community, especially in Valorant, is very, very toxic, especially at the low ranks. So if I can be like a voice of reason to kind of help people improve their Valorant play, then I'm doing my job right, and it makes me happy. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go follow my Twitter. That's where I'll post all my polls at. That's where I'll post anything Valorant related. And hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, y'all.